Hello everybody, hope everything's going fine. A few people have said that they are struggling with the shapes activity in the coding, so I'm going to go through that and hopefully show you what sort of things that you need to do, and then you'll be able to take your way through it, and hopefully that will then help you as you go through the rest of everything. So when it starts up, you get 6 different activities that you need to do, or a set of challenges involving shapes. You need to go through these one at a time, and to complete the task, you do need to try to do all 6. That's what we're looking for. So let's have a look at number 1, which is making a hexagon. When it starts up, it gives you a video to watch. You might want to have a look at that. You can see that you can play that video.
So when I run this program, I can see there's a shape, and the shape is a triangle. And the triangle has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. Now what I want you to do is I want you to change the shape. I want you to set the number of sides of the shape to 6, and then it will become a hexagon, like this. So see if you can do this and complete the challenge.
Okay, so that's pretty much the challenge. It explains what you need to do. So you've got a triangle that's got 3 sides. You've got a pentagon that's got 6 sides, and you are trying to change the size or the number of sides that it's got. There is a hint, so you can go down towards the hint as well. And if you click on the hint, you can unlock the hint, but it does say that it will affect your score. So it's up to you whether you do that. So if you get a little hint, it will make things a little bit easier for you. This time, hopefully the hint that I'm going to give you is enough. So I've seen that, I'm okay with the video, so I click OK, and I'm now into the screen. So it tells me the challenge at the top. So it says challenge, turn the triangle into a hexagon by setting the number of sides to 6. And we've got this area here, the black screen area, is where we are going to put our code. Our code is going to go in here. We get our code from the left hand side, and we're going to drag the code from the left hand side over to the space that we want. So we've dropped that in there. Now once we dropped it in there, because it knows that we need to do something, we need to make some choices about our shape. So we can choose various different things. Now the clue is that it says we're changing a triangle to a hexagon by changing the number of sides. So here's our sides. I'm going to click on this. So we've got that. So it says now our shape has got sides, and the sides are going to be equal, set to, and in this little box here, that little sort of light bluey tealy color, we need to put a number. And you can actually see as I hold over it, there's a little box that pops up that says number to know what we want to do. So I'm going to click into that box, and I can use an arrow I can type it in, or I can use the arrow to increase it. We're making a hexagon. Hexagon has got 6 sides. So I've now made a shape that has got sides that are set to 6. Okay, so let's see what happens. All right, so it draws it for me straight away. It draws it very quickly. But the important thing is at the top, we have got this big arrow here. It says next challenge. That's what we get when we know we have achieved the challenge. Okay, down at the bottom, it also says, success, congratulations, the task is completed. So we've got all that. You can actually play with it while you're doing it, because at the moment, if you have a look at the settings here, I've got it set at fast. So if you drag that down to slow and you run the challenge, so I can stop it again, boom, and play it again. This time it oops, I think I missed that on the things. I'll do that again. So I've slowed it down on that tab, and this time when I press play, we see the triangle, and then it changes. So we can see what's happening. So again, we're ready, and we're ready to go to the next challenge. So we click on next challenge, and again we are brought to this instruction box, this information box. So it's telling us what we need to do. So this time it says increase the size of the shape when the shape is clicked. All right, so that's using our mouse to click on it. So can you make the size of the shape increase when it is clicked? Again, you can watch the video if you want. You've also got the hint down here if you want to use the hint, but remember it does affect your score at the end if you're using hints. So let's have a look. Okay. Now, here we are with our instructions. We've now got an extra instruction. So we've got this one, when clicked. So we can have that across here. So when clicked, and we can see that it opens up a box, all right, with a question mark. We need to fill that in with something because we need to tell it what we're going to click. Now, there's not much to choose from this time. We're going to click the shape. So I choose shape underneath here and I click on that and it puts it into that box. So we've now got, when we click the shape, underneath there is this space for our next instruction, because we are now going to tell them in this box what happens when we click the shape. So when we click the shape, this bit underneath here, because it's indented slightly, this is what is going to happen. So I'm going to say what's going to happen. Something's going to happen to my shape. So again, I bring my shape out, and when I pop this in, you will see it will open up another box where I can put in all sorts of extra things. Right, so I can change the x-axis, I can change y, I can change the size, all that. Okay, I can change the sides, I can change the color, I can change all sorts of things. But it's the size. We want it to get bigger because that's our instruction. So I'm going to choose size, and the size is set to. Well, I don't want it to be set to, because what I want to do now is every time I click it, I want it to get bigger. So it's not going to be an equals. I'm going to use an add. So I click add, and I'm going to add 1 to it every time I do it. So here we have it. So here, when I get my shape up, when I click it, when I click the shape size is going to add 1 to it. All right, so that's what we're asking to do. So again, I go to play and I click play, and it just starts up with my shape, which is now a triangle. So every time I now hopefully click the shape, so click once, it gets a bit bigger. Click again, gets a bit bigger. And you notice that up here, as soon as I'd run through that and made it work, I have now got next challenge, and I've got the message down here, success, congratulations, the task is completed. Now I'm going to pause now. I'm going to work my way through all the challenges without showing you how to do them. You'll need to work out the rest yourselves, but I'm going to jump to the final challenge, and I will show you what happens with the final challenge and how you make sure that your work is saved so that the teacher can see it. Okay, I will see you when I get to challenge 6. Okay, I've been through a few levels and I've eventually got to the challenge that says where I'm now going to have to sort of debug one of the programs. They're going to provide me with a program that doesn't work and I have to fix it. So the challenge is clicking on the buttons makes the wrong type of shapes. Can you fix it? So we've got this shape and we've got the chimp, or the chimp that's trying to solve it, because they use that for their images. So this is where we need to show that we understand what we're doing and we can look at a program and understand where it's going wrong. All right, so you've got hints if you want to do that, but you don't really want to do that. Info might be useful. So if I click on info, all right.
So the monkey's got a little bit of a problem. He's trying to create a program to teach his fellow monkeys about shapes, and he's got a shape here and he's got 3 different buttons. But when you click the buttons, it doesn't turn the shape into the right type. When I click set to triangle, it changes the shape into a square. When I click set to square, it changes the shape into a pentagon. And when I click set to pentagon,
and so on. So it just really tells you what the scenario is that you have to fix. So now this is where you prove that you are a technical genius and that you're fantastic at coding, and you work your way through it. So we've got our coding down here and we need to work out where it's going wrong. All right, so we're looking at what each set of codes is. So we can see there's 3 different parts to this, 3 different when clicks. So when we click B set triangle, which is B is the box, which are these boxes down here. So we got those ones there. I can't see that because that's in the way. But when we have a look at these, we can see that when we click this one, to the triangle, the shape, the sides are set to 4. Now, if they know anything about triangles, they would know that that's the wrong number, and hopefully they would then say, yeah, that's what we need to fix. So then they will be able to, or you will be able to, whoever's listening to me, you'll be able to do that, okay? So again, we got our info at the bottom, create a when clicked block for set triangle and so on. So you need to do all those. Once you have done those and got the information, I will show you what happens next, but I'm not going to show you the answer. So I'm going to pause for a minute while I get the answer. Okay, thankfully I was able to solve the problem. The monkey's given me thumbs up. It says, thank you, my boss has increased my banana bonus. Are you ready for the next challenge? So there's still one more challenge left. So we get a yes and a no. At the top again, we've got our arrow, next challenge. So I'm going to click yes. Okay, so it tells me that my lesson is completed. It's going down here, stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it tells me all the things I've got. And because I haven't looked at any hints, I've actually got, you scored 5 Code Monkey stars. Congratulations for not needing any hints. So I've got all that. So I'm quite pleased with that. So I click OK. All right. Then finally, this is the final challenge. You know how we had at the very beginning, we had 6 different elements. This is the final 6th one where you're actually using your own mode to create your own sort of program. All right, so again, there's a video for you to watch if you want to watch the video.
So now I want you to make your own program with multiple shapes using design mode. To get to design mode, I just click design over here, and then I just can drag shapes into my program just like that. And then once I've dragged a shape in, I could change its color, or I can change the number of sides. I'm going to change the number of sides to 2 so that it's a line.
Okay, so now we're into the final part of the activity. So I've watched the video, and make sure your child watches the video for this activity. One of the things it tells you to do is to go into design mode, and design mode gives you a slightly different screen. So what you can now do is you can then take things from over here and we can put them into our program if you want. So you could have shapes coming in. So I can bring in a triangle into my shape. I can put it in a line with different things. So I could have this one at, let's see, I could have it at 0, and with this one I could also have it as 0. So I can align it in different ways wherever I want it to go. I can change its size. If I think that's a little bit big, I can make it a little bit smaller. I can change its color. I think we'll definitely have orange. So we can do all those things and position the shape however we wish to have it. What we can then do is we can even bring in another shape. So we could have another shape over here. All right, so what we could do is we could have a different shape, and this time I'm not going to have a triangle. I am going to have change the sides here. I can have maybe a pentagon, and again I can position it about wherever I want it to do, and I can then do various things with it. So again, we're going to have a different color. So let's give it a quite fancy, we'll give it blue. All right, so we've got blue, and once we're happy with what we're doing, then we can come out of the design mode. So we're clicking out of design mode, and we're now ready to start to introduce our programming. And now, because we've created these 2 shapes, I have got 2 shapes there, so called my shape 1, my shape 2. All right, so we've got those. If I go back to design, to make life easier for me, when I click on them, on these, I can actually see that the name of this one is called my shape 2. If I really wanted to, I can delete that and make it something that I can understand, so that I can call this one pentagon. And I can do the same with the triangle one. So again, that might make things easier for when we are doing this. So out of exit design, I can now see that because I changed pentagon, I've got pentagon. I haven't changed my shape 1 yet, so it's still called my shape 1. What we can then do, we can do things like we can have when clicked, my pentagon. Oops, hold on, sorry. So when clicked, the pentagon, and I can decide whatever I want to happen with it. I can make it do various things. I can make it move around the screen. I can make it move different places. This is where it's up to the children to create whatever they want to do. They want to use their skills that they have made to create something. All right. So the options of controlling it is when it's clicked, or if they prefer, they can take away that. Let's just get that in the bin for now. So anything that they make a mistake with, they can drop into the bin down there and it'll disappear. They can also start things with a timer, and it shows you in the video how the man used the timer. So it's after every 1 second. Okay. After every 1 second, something could happen. So you could change that. It could be after every 2 seconds. You could have, you can even put in decimals. You can have 0.5 seconds. So you could have that. Something will happen. So what's going to happen? So after every half a second, 0.5 seconds, I want my my pentagon, and I'm going to change the angle. I want the angle to add, let's see, 15. Okay, so we've got that. If I now run that, it will allow you to see what's happening, and we can see that nothing's happening. Okay, just pause there a minute. Right, okay, I've realised what's happened there is because it did work, but what I've actually made the mistake with is that after 5 seconds it happens, but it only happens once. I haven't put in any sort of repeat in here, so maybe I can, let's have a look at this one. So if I go back to timer, after the timer, there you go. I've got a choice of after or every. If I put every 5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, and I run it now, I've actually got now a rotating shape. So my shape is rotating all the time. So I've managed to do that with my program. So maybe that's something that they could do. Once they have decided what they have done, this is the point where your child needs to save their work. So they're going to go up to here, up to menu, and they are going to save. So make sure they do save their work, because if they don't save it, I might not be able to see what they have done. Okay, so they've saved their work. It does save it automatically. I now go into here. I'm going to exit because I've finished what I'm doing. Your child or whoever's, if you are one of the children in my class, if you are watching this, you might want to do something a bit more exciting than what I've done. You can have more than one thing moving at a time. You could get them moving in different directions by having one adding an angle. You could have one taking away angles. You can get them moving up and down the screen. You could almost have like a dance of shapes in the middle of your work. It's entirely up to you, but make it interesting. But you only get to this once you have completed all the other challenges. So I'm going to go to exit now, and when I go to exit, just 1 minute. I'm just thinking about handing in work. Where do we hand in work? It doesn't let us hand in work there. So let's just go to. I know why it's not handing work, because I haven't set it for me. Do make sure that you hand in your work. Okay. Exit. So I've saved it. So I have done that. Okay. So I hope you have fun with this. Yeah, I realised that because I haven't actually set myself this work as a to-do, I've just taken it off the website. That when your child, or when you do this and you complete it, you will have an option at the top there to send your work or hand it in. So once you have saved it by using the icon up here, then make sure that you hand your work in so that I can see that you have completed it. I hope this helps you a little bit more with what you're doing. I know it's quite a long video, but good luck. Any more problems, use the blog to ask me for help and I will see what I can do.